What's going on, you guys? This is... What is this again?
Hear me out. There you go.
Today, we have a special topic for these fellas. It's more of a point of view.
Okay.
We're going to be talking about conspiracy theories.
Conspiracy theories.
Yes. So,
That's a good one.
Okay. Well, why don't you kick us off there, bud?
is tomato fruit?
Tomato is a fruit, okay?
Alright, we're all settled on that. That'll be it. I don't know, I was just thinking, if you guys have like any conspiracy theories in mind that you guys wanted to chat about.
You didn't come here with it?
No.
Not a single one.
I mean, there's always the topic of God, there's always the topic of... What, you want to talk about that?
No, you believe what you want to believe.
I think I don't think that's really much of a conspiracy theory.
No. That's just more of a belief.
I mean, that's what any conspiracy theory is.
Is...
We got a conspiracy theory
okay,
about
well...
conspiracy theories?
Could happen.
Define conspiracy theory.
I just don't think that religion falls into that.
A belief... I guess. Okay, a belief that some convert... but influential organization is responsible for a circumstance or event. That I would go into saying the church. The church, I guess, yeah, okay. That's fair.
Anyway,
Well, if you guys don't want to talk about that, that's fine.
No, let's
we can talk about
roll with it. I just don't think... I think we leave religion out of it.
well, I think we're also not the ones to talk about God as a conspiracy theory.
No,
We're not educated on that.
no, not enough.
Maybe you.
I was going to say. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
So,
I left those days behind me. So.
well, what is a conspiracy theory that you guys always thought about and always wanted to talk about?
Well, I can't think of off the top of my head. Here, I'm going to go to Google, and I'm going to look up a couple... Just look up some conspiracy theories.
Aliens, Bigfoot.
Aliens are not a conspiracy theory. That's a fucking fact, bro.
Some people still think it's a conspiracy theory.
You're telling me...
No, I'm not telling you.
You're not telling me? Okay. Well, whoever's listening, hear me out. You're telling me that in this big-ass universe that keeps expanding, we're the only intelligent life? There's no fucking way.
We were talking about that last week when we were over at Jacob's, and I mean, I agree. I agree with you that there's no way there's this entire universe and we're just the only people that are living, and there's no other another Milky Way or something like that. With
Yeah, like
planet.
there's organisms
Yeah.
that they've found. Like, okay, cool. But I mean, like, come on. There's no way in hell that us are the only ones. Like, what if? What if? Hear me out.
Yeah, we're just going Marvel on us.
Well, what if there is another quote-unquote Earth with also another race of humans on it, light years away, and they're thinking exactly what we're thinking?
Yeah. See, that's kind of what we were talking about the other day. It was like, you think there's another planet or even other forms of us out there, like...
So we're going to say about multiverse is what you're saying.
yeah.
I don't know, man.
That's what it is. There was actually an interesting movie that I saw. It was on Hulu. It's called Multiverse, and these 5 kids are going around, trying to find out if there is another other human beings anywhere, and and if there's somebody else that looks like you, and do they do the exact same thing? And they go around, and it's sort of like a whole like circle that they end up falling in the same. So in that movie, they die. But it's themselves that kill themselves, but they don't know it, and they just go in circles trying to find out. And since there's both, let's say there's 2 Seans. Since there's 2 Seans in the same universe, in the same world, like they start to like feel like nauseous and stuff like that until one of them.
Oh, like Back to the
Future.
Future.
One of them yeah. So one of them dies,
Or
and
leaves.
then leaves, or whatever, and then all right, he's back to himself or to whatever. But yeah, there's just a little loop that they talk about, and they're doing the other people from the other Earth are doing the exact same thing, and then trying to find out if there's somebody else. So it's themselves, trying to communicate with each other. Trying to communicate with each other. But yeah, it just goes in circles, and they end up going up this mountain, and this car's coming the other way, and they end up crashing, they end up swerving, and they end up dying. And then
only one group of them.
That one group of them. But before that, what's interesting about that is, it's like half of those people that were in the car. The one that died, one of the girls went to go check it out, and before they fell off to their death, they grabbed her. And she died too.
Oh shit!
And so they're trying to find out, like, oh, she's dead and blah blah blah. The one that is in the car, the girl that's in the car survived, and she goes back to them. She goes back to them, and she's like, "Why are you guys acting so weird?" Like, she doesn't know what happened, and it's a whole weird circle that goes on, and it happens to. They explains it on every single one, and they all act differently. There's this one deaf girl that in her other self she can actually hear and she can speak well. Huh. And it's a whole.
That's weird.
You gotta watch that movie. It's kind of interesting. And it doesn't explain much, but just looking at like how they just loop it, it's like, oh, that's really interesting because. Well, this girl survived, but this girl is dead, but there's another girl that's going to come back, and she's going to die, and she's going to replace her.
That makes my head hurt.
I like the possibility of that being real.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, that's kind of interesting. Is like you never... They eventually find out that, it's the whole multiverse thing, hence the name of the movie, but... It's like, do we tell people or like,
right.
Like what do we do? Like it's kind of weird.
I don't know. It's a crazy thing. It's crazy.
I think it's a possibility.
I do too. I think it's real. I mean, I don't think there's a.
Ooh, yeah, we're not going to talk about that one.
What's that?
Yeah.
No.
Bro, that's real.
Well, the very, very first one on this list is the moon landing was faked.
I was gonna say flat Earth moon landing.
Yeah, well, they go into detail with it and says the flag moving in the wind, no stars in the sky whatsoever, misaligned shadows. So these are all points made in a conspiracy theory that Neil Armstrong didn't take the first leap for mankind in the moon in 1969. For years, conspiracists have argued that NASA staged the landing and that the secret has been protected by the CIA ever since.
Well, I've heard a lot of things of those. It's, pretty much a lot of bullshit, and I think it did happen.
I believe you.
I think it had, but there's from other people's perspective, or what they say that okay, it happened, but they it's some like bullshit like we forgot to take a camera.
Right.
So let's just reenact it and try to get everything right.
But you got to think this is a huge thing for humans,
right?
And they're gonna forget a fucking camera,
or maybe a camera doesn't work up there.
That is true too.
Yeah, but they have the rover that's up there.
Mm-hmm.
And that has.
Nah.
Well, not.
It was real. It was real. I don't.
You think it was
like full-heartedly
believe that it was real?
Yeah.
I think so too, like 100%.
Neil Alien. What?
That's one can't stand behind.
But I feel like the government does this on purpose, though. Like I don't think they're playing dumb or anything. No. I think they just.
And I do think it's hard to trust them because I do think that there's a lot of things they have faked.
Oh, absolutely.
But back then, it was a race against Russia.
Right.
To be who the first one was going to be who landed on the moon.
Right. And there was plenty of failed attempts.
Yeah, and America is very boisterous about their.
Oh, they're. Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, they got jealous because Russia went to space first.
Yeah. So all right.
No, you know what?
We're gonna go to the fucking moon.
I don't think. I think that was real.
Absolutely, 100%.
I agree.
And then that leads into the flat Earth thing.
Oh my God, no! I cannot stand behind that conspiracy theory whatsoever. There's been why?
I'm not siding with it. I just
devil's advocate.
If you're gonna debate something, you should be able to
right. Okay. I'm gonna say no because of the whole space thing, they've taken multiple views of in space of Earth and it being round. And you're going to tell me that even though that there is plenty of evidence suggesting that the sun's round, every other planet in the solar system's round, and you're going to say that only the Earth is flat?
But how do you know the sun's round? Like,
Nobody's gone
like
to the
obviously
sun.
you can see it, but you only see it from one perspective, and you don't see it round.
I guess you're not wrong.
Like it's a circle.
Right.
It can still be flat. You never,
That's
you
fair.
never
That's
see
fair.
anything.
What shape
But
is the star, bro?
huh?
What shape is the star?
Circle.
Circle or sphere?
Oh, that's fair. All right, you got me. You got me. But I mean, like, I don't know. And just like the fact that literally you can go, if you look at a map when it is completely laid out from a sphere, and you're seeing that like over in like Japan or something is over on off to the right, and then like Hawaii and the rest of the world, like the U.S. is more off to the left. There's been plenty of people, like when you take a flight from Japan to the U.S., you have to stop in Hawaii most of the time to take a connecting flight. So how...
So how does that argue
that it's not
Well,
flat?
yeah, well, it's fair because if it was flat...
If it was flat, you'd fall off the
you
edge.
You can only go one way.
Yeah.
And it'd be this way and this way.
If you were if you're going from
around
Japan to the U.S., if it was flat, you'd have to literally go from Japan somewhere in Asia to Europe to America. You'd have to take the long way, quote
That's
unquote.
not accurate.
How is that not accurate?
If we lay it flat out here,
Uh-huh.
Americas are here.
Okay.
Hawaii's over here.
Right.
Japan's here.
No, it's not. It's more
Yes,
off.
it is.
It's
If
more
you
off.
lay it flat,
Well, if you lay it
it's-
flat, Hawaii's
Hawaii's
down
down
here.
Okay,
here,
well then-
Japan's over
Japan's
here.
Okay, well then theoretically, if you're going from Hawaii to fucking America, to the rest of the U.S., and then that leads me to the next thing. Why would
Wait, hold on. Before you
Oh,
move on,
yeah, no.
because I'm still trying to understand how, if the Earth was flat,
Right.
you would still have to stop in Hawaii.
Okay, well, I said theoretically, let's say you're starting in Hawaii. If Hawaii and Japan are like right fucking next to each other. Okay? You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
You're just following.
Yeah.
So if you were trying to go from Hawaii to the rest of the United States, you'd still have to take the long way around. You couldn't go the other way.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just,
Small brain.
I don't get, like, what do you mean the long way?
Yeah.
Like,
Luis,
you couldn't fly
do you
from
understand?
Hawaii to
I'm
California, you'd have to fly-
understanding both of you.
Well, wait,
but
no,
you guys
wait.
are understanding each other.
So you're saying you couldn't fly from Hawaii to California? You'd have to fly from Hawaii across Europe back to the east.
well, no, because
coast?
it's flat. It's what,
So look,
you could just go to Hawaii to California.
That's
if it
what's
wasn't
the long
flat,
way?
the long
Well,
way.
even if it is flat.
Okay, so if you look at this map, Hawaii's over here, right?
Okay,
And Japan's
no,
over here.
Give me a flat map.
A flat. This is a flat map.
No, not like
flat
that.
phone.
With the globe, like how flat.
Oh, like everything.
Yes,
okay,
because
okay.
that's
Hold
that's
on.
what we're talking about here.
Hold on.
We gotta have that accurate map.
It changes
Okay.
everything.
It does not
It
change
does.
shit.
It does. Because I actually saw an interesting video about this the other day. It's actually.
Are you talking about something like that?
No, I'm talking like. Just look up flat Earth map. I'm sure fucking.
Sure, they.
It's gonna be like, are you crazy?
What are you, stupid?
Okay, so
Oh.
okay, this is what I'm talking about.
You're looking at a different one.
No, this
That's
is
not the
what-
one that I've usually seen.
This is what people, from at least from my perspective, this is what people
Yeah, a lot
think
of
the
people
flat
that
Earth
do-
looks like.
Oh.
Okay.
So you're telling me that's
It's not
all?
saying that
that's
it's square.
That's all that it is. That's all that exists of Antarctica.
No, it's all the way up there.
That's north.
No, look, that's the North Pole.
Yeah,
Right.
North Pole's
So
up
then-
And Antarctica wraps around over here.
there. Yeah.
So you're telling me that Antarctica, it wraps the whole bottom of
No.
that Earth.
Just there and adjacent. I mean, I'm not telling you this, but this is
This is the
Oh my
this
God.
is the theory, right?
This
So
pisses me off.
So if Hawaii, because here's America. Okay, so if Hawaii's down here,
Okay.
why couldn't you fly right across there?
Okay. Well, see, that's different because I didn't even know that map
So
existed.
this is what I'm talking about. Okay, so hear me out. So this video that I was watching, this guy wanted to know.
What, Logan Paul's?
No. Okay.
That was interesting though.
But that was interesting. But it was just some TikToker. I don't know. I saw it come across.
Okay.
He wants to know why, if the globe is, if it's a circle, okay,
Right.
why you do have to stop in Hawaii.
Well, based on that map, I'm not going to argue my point anymore.
Well,
No.
if you're looking at this map, it makes sense that you wouldn't have to stop in Hawaii.
Correct.
Well, no, sorry.
But if
He's
we're
arguing the
going
other way
Hawaii-
around. He's arguing the other way around. If the Earth was flat,
Mm-hmm.
then you can't fly around. Why would you fly around? Why would you just fly? Okay, because it's like,
Right.
that's a shorter distance.
Correct.
Well,
But here's my counter argument. From all the visuals that we've seen from space, we already know it does not sit like that.
See, and I think that's where flat earthers, I just don't think that they can accept that the government's just telling them the truth. And I think that's why you find flat earthers who also believe the moon landing's fake.
Well, shit. We'll just wait till Elon Musk goes up there. He's, what agenda does he have to hide?
Right. So I think that's where it is. Like, they
He's
just
doing
can't.
already.
They cannot believe that the government would go up there and tell them.
I think it's one of their their.
What does anyone have to?
Seeing is believing.
Right.
Right.
So,
But what
like-
does anyone have to gain by saying the Earth is flat, even though? I mean, that the Earth is round, even though it's flat.
That. As if. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, but like, what's the point?
Yeah. Whether it's.
What do you gain from that? Just saying, like let's just
Well,
say
I'm
right. I'm right. You're wrong.
it's a government conspiracy. Okay, that the
Is it a government
Bragging
conspiracy?
well, I mean, just like let's just say like all the world's powers know
Okay.
that the Earth is flat. Like the Earth is really flat. Okay.
Okay. Theoretically, right?
Right.
Okay.
So what do they gain though from telling us that it's round?
That's fair. They don't gain anything.
They don't get anything. What's the point? There's no
Yeah.
point.
Just
So-
good.
Why not believe that it's
Longer travel.
round? Yeah, you charge us more on plane rides.
Yeah. Even then, that's not the government, I don't think, is it? Or is that? I thought.
It's got to do with everything.
No, I was gonna say there's definitely. I do believe there's world powers that control just about everything going on everywhere.
That's fair. Well, I figured. I thought maybe that like the company airlines. I thought they were like independently owned, but like theoretically, like the airspace was owned by the world powers. I guess.
Well, I mean, they're independently owned, just like everything is independently owned.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? Like,
This is
All
independent.
those
This
people-
podcast is independently owned
was it the,
between the three of us.
but I mean, like, yeah, like I think all the world powers have their hands in just about everything that involves us.
That's fair. I will agree with that one.
Yeah, I guess that is right. It's like the stupidest argument ever. Because
Yeah.
it's like you said, what do you get from? Other than bragging rights, of course, but
But like
like
Who
what?
you bragging to?
What does it matter if it
No
is
secret
flat?
there. It's flat. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a weird.
Yeah.
One. I've never understood why.
It's like, okay, it's flat. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, it's not gonna change my fucking life. Like it'll be like a day where I'm like, holy shit, there's flat. Cool.
Maybe tomorrow it'll be flat. Tomorrow.
Right.
All right. Well, I'm going to lead you into this one. Number 7 on the list. The Earth is hollow.
I've seen this.
I have never heard this one
I've
before.
seen this one, and actually, it's kind of interesting because did you see the sinkhole that they just found in China?
I did see that. Yeah.
Are you talking about the one with all the forest in it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, here's the thing that's always that now that I'm thinking about it, it's kind of pissed me off. How in the hell do these people know that there's different layers to the
Magma,
Earth?
crust,
Yeah, I don't remember what the fuck it's
The
all
one
called.
time they dug all the way to China, bro.
Well, see, that's the thing though, is that what like did somebody actually like go through all the way?
Well, it's just the same thing. It's whatever people. I don't
Well,
know,
no, I think that one has a little more science behind it. Like, obviously, geologists like studied
Right.
other like rock
I
formations.
wonder if it's like the volcanoes and stuff. Like
Right,
if that's
yeah, if
something.
that's-
Yeah.
I think that one has a little more science behind it. Why
Right.
They think that, but the Earth being hollow, I think, is a good.
Well, it says here. In 2014, scientists released new unknown findings about the Earth's core. And let's just say conspiracy theorists took it and ran with it after learning that we did not know much about all. don't know much at all about the surface of the Earth and what lies beneath its layers. The hollow Earth theory gained traction, and some believers even think there is an Earth inside the Earth. I don't believe that either. Now that sinkhole with the whole thing in China and everything, that's fucking weird.
But that's not the first one they found either. There's one found in Russia, and they just found one in some third world country. I remember this was like a month or two ago that they found like a huge one.
Is India a third world country?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Almost possible.
It's conspiracy theorist here.
Conspiracy theories.
Is India a third world country?
But all these fucking like massive sinkholes with whole other ecosystems being opened up, like that's either God's fucking reckoning or
This is the moment, bro.
don't even get me started on the moment. Those motherfuckers freak me out.
I think the lizard people one is weird. That one's weird. I don't know if I technically believe that one, but it also wouldn't surprise me if that one came true.
What is that?
Wow.
India, third world country?
I don't know. I didn't bother to look that far into it.
Wow, bro.
You saw that it was not.
I'm not gonna take this and run.
But yeah, I think that one's kind of interesting because, especially because the amount of land we haven't discovered, ocean we haven't discovered.
Right.
No one really knows.
Oh my god, the fucking ocean is terrifying, bro.
Yeah, fuck the ocean.
We know more about the moon than our ocean. That's not right. That's not it. The moon's not even here.
Huh?
No, the moon's millions of miles away.
But I mean, and there's also, I know we don't want to talk about like Bible and stuff like that, but I know in the Bible it talks about like beasts and stuff like that.
Right.
Like beasts, like what?
Like doesn't really necessarily specify them, but now we have those, the fossils and all like that with the dinosaurs and everything.
Right.
Do you think those are all like for sure, like for real?
I mean, based on all the bones and everything from what I've seen, the bones all look like they connect. So I mean, and they're bones, like they kind of like stick around. Like there's plenty of fossils that have been found from humans before. So why are we going to doubt if like we can prove those are humans? Why are we going to doubt that those are dinosaurs and actually walked this planet at one point in time?
I mean, you talk to anybody that actually reads the Bible, it says that there's no such thing as dinosaurs.
I know.
Well, how do we explain evolution then? How do we explain lizards? Like those are all descendants of.
Yeah. We're going to get copyrighted for that.
For the Bible?
No, for ESPN.
It's just so takes
Yeah, I mean, how do you explain
the evolution? Well,
This is why evolution and religion are very, very touchy.
It's interesting though, yeah.
So I mean, as far as the Bible goes, just what we have today is what's always been here.
Pretty much is what it says. I mean, like I said, it talks about beasts, but it doesn't really specify.
So why is that such a stretch to say that the beasts that they were talking about when the Bible was written were dinosaurs? Or some descendant of a dinosaur.
See, I know, I believe that there was, but like I said, from the Bible, they don't want to start like a whole thing going on that want to scare people that that there was dinosaurs, because they're saying whenever there's the resurrection, all those animals are going to come back to life.
Okay.
Well, what do you mean? What do you mean resurrection?
When God comes back.
So whenever
Judgment
we die,
Day?
yeah, sure. Whenever that happens, he says that in the Bible, it says that all those creatures, all those beasts, is gonna come back with them. Like if you lose a dog, the dog's gonna come back to you.
Interesting. I guess I haven't heard that one before.
Do you read the Bible?
No.
Yeah.
Not since I was a young lad.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
that's why it's a whole debate that are they actually real, or what is God? Is he gonna make them smaller, or
Right. I don't know. I feel like.
Well, you see your science trying to bring back the mammoth, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like that's another one where people refuse to believe it unless they have firsthand experience that it was a thing.
Right.
But for me, it's real easy. Like, I do believe in God. And I'm not like a super religious person, but like I'm religious.
Same.
You know.
Yeah.
So, but it's hard for me to believe that lizard didn't come from something. Just as we have evolved as humans.
Right.
Like, I think the things that we have today will certainly evolved same as we did.
Right.
So that's kind of where I look at it. I forget the bones. Like, that's just a fancy fucking feature right there. I mean, bones too, you know?
That's just
like,
weak
just
shit.
looking at evolution, I find it hard to believe that there wasn't some form.
Well, there still is new creatures that are being discovered.
Absolutely.
To this day.
Right.
But
who's to say that those new creatures that we're finding aren't an evolution of something else? Those ones that we've already know of.
I agree.
But if we're going to talk on the discussion of creatures, Bigfoot being real. I don't know about you guys, but wholeheartedly I believe this shit's real.
Really?
So, I mean,
Wholeheartedly.
a lot of people that believe in, and I'm not saying you do, that believe in like evolution from monkey to human, they believe that Bigfoot is real, that there was just
I'm not saying
a little road. No, I know.
Okay.
A little. They took a little road and something changed, and they're saying that there's a whole family of Bigfoots.
If you look into it, every culture has their own thing of Bigfoot. You know, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Yeti. Mexico has one, don't they? Chupacabra.
That's something completely different.
That's something different?
Yeah, completely.
Really?
Yeah. That's a whole
It's
other...
a goat eater.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, not the same. They do have a version. I don't know.
Well, we should know this.
I never heard of it.
No?
I've seen it with my own eyes. No, fucking yeah. I read it somewhere, but I cannot remember what they call it.
Yeah. I don't know. There's with as much wilderness as there is in the world, I just feel like there's not every, and especially with how many cities there are, like not everyone can be in the woods at the same time. Or like, I guess theoretically they could be.
Yeah.
But how often is it that you see everyone in the woods at the exact same time?
Yeah, it's always a certain group that...
Right. There's like a certain group here and a certain group of a couple miles away. Like, who's to say that thing isn't avoiding people?
Well, then back to like what I said, like there's a whole... like who's to say there's only one?
Right. Well, that's the thing. I don't think there's only one. I think there might be one or two. No, not in every state, but I say per se, like, I wouldn't even say every continent, but every like with.
And then there comes a question: if there was more than one, I feel like it would have been caught already.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, I was someone who believed in Bigfoot. I am not anymore.
Wow.
No,
Like,
really.
Bigfoot.
A child's dream has been crushed.
Bigfoot might have existed,
Right.
but there's no way he exists anymore.
Well, I mean, they were talking about him like in the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. He might have.
But you don't think currently?
No. I don't. I just can't fathom the idea. There's not really that much forest that hasn't been discovered.
Right.
And
But just because they've discovered it doesn't.
Well, it's real easy to tell. Like obviously you would find something that you knew Bigfoot, like something out of the ordinary, like the places he lives,
Right.
tracks, something like concrete.
But people
evidence.
have found tracks,
Well,
though.
But it's nothing been concrete. Like,
That's-
There's
always
that want attention.
it's folktale.
There's not proof beyond a reasonable doubt.
And with how we are, how we have been as a species the last 10 years, and how everything has evolved in the last 10, 15 years. I mean, really, I know it's evolved more than that, but really in the last 10, 15 years, we got fucking cell phones with cameras on them. We got fucking high def cameras. We got all sorts of crazy shit, and you just
no one can. You're right, and no one can provide a.
I can't get behind that.
That's
It's
because-
kind of going back to what I was saying. If I can't see it, I don't believe it.
Right.
Well, that's always going to be the same.
Well, if it
thing,
can't
right.
be, if okay, the supernatural. If you can't see it, Do you believe it?
See, that's another thing.
I wholeheartedly believe in that shit.
I believe in the supernatural.
Well, you already know my stance.
Oh yeah. Well, see.
Well, has anything happened from that?
What do you mean?
From the doors opening? Nothing yet.
No, but there's always been that weird shit that me and him have had.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because I've seen your guys' video. I don't know if that was fake or not.
Which video?
Yeah, that was fake.
Oh yeah, that 100%.
Was it?
Yeah, that 100% was fake.
Well, you guys just showed something and it's like,
We didn't even show anything. We just looked off into the distance and.
No, didn't you guys circle something?
No,
like
not that I remember of. I'd have to go back and look.
Would have been a better video or something.
Yeah.
But no.
But I was saying, well, we were saying more of a. Have you been told about the time that, like the dream that we had on the same night, kind of tied in? Have you heard about that one?
You didn't mention it, but
Okay, so
explain it.
so so on the there was one night where it was stormy as hell, and on my end this was back at the trap house. So then on my end it was all black around me, and could
Your dream.
yeah, in my dream, and only saw the trap house, and I was knocking on the garage door because that's where Tristan was. That was his quote unquote room at the time. And then, so when I couldn't hear any of that, I heard Brooke barking, and tried to go to the. Remember the big window in the living room?
Yeah.
Tried going to that, but I saw some weird fucking black shadow people that a lot of people describe that they've seen in sleep paralysis, right? Yeah. And then that was it. I woke up. But
see, for me, I had previously had dreams of like those things like staring at me while I was sleeping, but I could see like myself sleeping and see those things staring at me. That's why I don't know if I really suffer from sleep paralysis, but that's like the closest thing that I can think of like is what it was. Is there's just multiple times I can remember throughout my life that I could see those things watching me while I sleep, or I'd have dreams where they're chasing me. But on that particular night, it was almost like the exact opposite. I remember I was I was outside in front of the house, and the thing was out there with me. And I run to the front door, and it's chasing me to the fucking front door. And I get inside, and I get inside the garage, and I'm in the garage, and I knew it had chased me inside, but I'm in the garage, and then I'm hearing fucking banging on the garage door. And so I wake up to that, like instantly I wake up to that, just fucking banging on the garage door because I thought it was actually happening. Wake up, Brooke is barking, like actually barking. This isn't in the dream, like this is real life. She was actually fucking barking.
Sean was outside.
No one was there, nothing, dude. It was just like, it was weird. And then we didn't even talk about it for like
a week or two.
Yeah, it was a while before like, I told him I had a crazy fucking dream.
Yeah.
So my brother doesn't believe in any of that. And
well, your brother's wrong.
Well, let me tell you the story. Whenever I first started living with him, we were living downtown in a little one-room studio.
Oh, yeah.
I slept on the couch that he had in the living room, and he was just in his bed, and so I couldn't sleep. And so he fell asleep, and it was like 2 a.m. And I went to the bathroom, and I came out, and my brother was just sitting on the edge of the bed, and like the strangest thing sort of thing. He was like, his eyes were like behind like his head.
It was like rolled back.
And yeah, they were rolled back, and I talked to him. I was like, "Hey, are you alright?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm good." I'm like, "Did you need to use the restroom?" Like, "No." And then he went back to bed, and I'm like, "Okay, this is weird."
Yeah.
And so
you're on your own, bro.
I was just looking at him. I was terrified, and then he woke up. He was like, "Oh, I have to go use the restroom." And I'm like, "Dude, like, I just asked you if you had to." He said, "No." I was like, "What are you talking about?" He was like, "We were just having a conversation." He was like, "Dude, I was literally asleep." I was like, "Dude, like, don't," like, I told him, "Don't fuck with me, bro." Because, like I said, he doesn't believe in that, but I truly believe in that. He's like, "Dude, don't say that." He's like, "Dude, I'm serious. Like, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom and go back to bed." And after that night, like, I was there. I would live there for like another month, 2 months, and it was just like the creepiest thing because, like, I just couldn't, like, I wanted to explain it to him, but he's like, all he was saying is like, "You're crazy, dude." Like, Or just imagine it. But like, no, dude, I was fully awake. And I had a conversation with you, and you sort of like, you rolled your eyes back, and like you were having a conversation. And it's not like, you know, like it was a demonic voice or anything. He was just talking to me normally. And then he just went back to bed. Like, and I know there's those sleep talkers in it, but that's just so weird. That you're just sitting on the edge of the bed and, you know, just looking like that.
That's
no, man.
That's strange.
These sleepwalkers are just like people that are possessed, bro.
Damn, AJ, you hear that?
I used to sleepwalk.
So did I. But it wasn't, because I would go from the couch and I'd wake up in my room. Like, but I never, like, realized it. And I asked my mom, like, did I wake up in the middle of the night and go to bed? Like, no, you were sleeping on the couch. And so I asked my dad, like, did you take me to bed? She's like, no, you were sleeping on the couch. So, like, I just woke up, or not even woke up, but I just walked and went to my bed and got tucked in. Like, what the heck?
That was God walking you, bro.
Just having like that, I was a kid, and I remember a dream, and I was fucking...
You're fucking, bro? He just bragging about his dreams, bro.
I was, somewhere. It was at McDonald's in my dream, okay?
Fat ass.
The booths they used to have.
Oh yeah.
Remember those?
Yeah.
But something was on top of me.
Damn.
Whoa, chill.
No, dude.
Ronald.
No, I was like freaking out because like it was on top of me, and I couldn't move, and so I woke up.
Were you sitting or laying down?
I was laying down.
Why in the booth?
I don't know. Yeah,
Burger Coma.
Were you alone?
Yeah. Yeah, I was alone in this
Did you
booth.
choose the booth,
I was
bro?
like,
If somebody else was to say they have a whole group.
I was a kid.
The burger coma.
So I wake up, and I'm in the middle of my doorway to my room.
Standing
Not
or
in my
laying
bed.
down?
I was in my bed. No, I was laying down. And still, I woke up, and I could not move. Like,
And
it
you're
just felt like
laying down in your doorway.
Yeah. Went to bed in my bed, woke up in the doorway laying down.
Interesting.
With just like this immense, like, on my chest. Like, I could not move. Like, it felt like I was fucking, like, dying. So I couldn't breathe, couldn't move, couldn't get up. And I think finally, like, my mom or dad, like, saw me and was like, let's go to bed. And
Okay.
that was it. But, like, that shit fucking is crazy.
So whenever you have dreams, are you always able to control them, or
No.
is it like a, you know?
What is there's a lucid dreaming, isn't that the being able to control your dreams?
Dude,
I have never been able to do that.
For a week straight, I was able to, like, it was like the weirdest thing because I'd go to bed, and like immediately, like, I'd shut my eyes, and I was just like in this whole different universe.
Bro, it's a Doctor Strange 2 multiverse.
Sort of like that, bro. But I was like able to control it. You know, like, have you ever seen Moon Knight?
Yeah.
You saw it? Like, it was somebody else, but I had the conscience of that person.
Yeah.
I was like I was a conscience, but he was the one controlling like everything he was doing. And it's just like
Mock.
It felt so real because in one of those, I actually I got shot and I woke up immediately.
Yeah.
I was like, did I just die? Like, what's happening?
No, that was Mark.
The Mark. But like, I had that for like a week straight, and I was just like not able. I wasn't able to control it, but I see what was happening.
See, now, lucid dreaming is something that's always really interested me because of that, being able to control your dreams. And I remember there's things that you can do to enhance that and, like, up the probability. I can't remember exactly what they were, but when I was, like, 17, 18, like, that's something that
I know.
really interested me, right?
Yeah, I know.
Like, I think, like, some of it was, like, apple juice or something, like, you're supposed to, but, like, I don't know. It's fucking weird. There's certain things that you're supposed to do, and, like, I've had those experiences, but I have noticed since I started smoking, that's almost like a once a week thing.
Really?
Yeah, where I fucking like have those dreams that are very vivid and like.
Yeah, and I wake up all sweaty and
exactly.
I was like, hell no! Like, what was that?
I had a weird ass dream.
And most of them aren't good dreams. Most of them are bad dreams.
Yeah, they were all bad.
Yeah.
But see, that's what I've heard with lucid dreaming, which I don't even fucking want to do, like even do that, bro. I'm like, fuck this.
Apple juice for me.
I'll take orange juice from now. But I had this weird ass dream like a couple weeks ago. Anthony like drowning.
Shit.
Yeah, it was weird.
See, those dreams always freak me out when like people are.
Because it just seems so real.
Yeah.
But like thinking about it later on in the day, like I was like, It's kind of stupid. I'm like, okay, he drowned because the lake was half frozen. I'm like, okay, what lake? We're in July.
Right.
And then I was like, okay, how did he drown? He tried to get a Nintendo Switch from the bottom of the lake. I'm like, why the fuck is there a Nintendo Switch in the bottom of the lake?
Yeah.
But I didn't think about any of that. My first thought was like, my brother did drown.
Yeah. It's weird. Or like deja vu.
Oh my god, I hate that.
Like, and
That I believe would be a multiverse thing.
Mm-hmm.
You've already seen that.
See, but I don't know, because there's been times where I've had deja vu that I vividly remember the dream that I
Remember
had.
you said it was last week.
But-
Yeah, it was last
At my
week.
mom's.
No, it wasn't at your mom's. It
I
was
just
when
had
it was
one.
us three drinking outside on the truck bed.
Was that before we got there? Or was
No,
that?
you were there. You were there.
I just
You
must
you
not
were
remember.
just had deja vu.
Either, actually.
Maybe it was just me and DJ.
But
Yeah,
it's
like-
but I don't know. But if you're saying like if it's very vividly the dream, then that follows back into the Doctor Strange 2 thing where
Absolutely.
your dreams are you from another universe.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, let's get back on topic here.
That's all conspiracy theory, dude.
Yeah.
I guess,
It all
I guess.
ties in.
Okay, we're all living in the Matrix. Number 12 in this list.
I don't believe that.
You don't think that this is all simulation?
Mm-mm.
I think I mean, I don't wholeheartedly believe this, but there have been a couple things that have just been like a little bit fucking weird that some people have like caught on camera and some shit, like people glitching out of nowhere. There's been a couple of
There's
those.
always special effects.
You're not wrong. There is, but I mean, like, I don't know. There's just it's a. I'm not gonna say that I wholeheartedly believe in it, but I'm also not gonna rule it out.
I think there is a way to get to the Matrix, but we're not in it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think we live in
Because
simulation.
I do find it weird that just a lot of things. Have you ever seen the Truman Show?
No.
You never seen? You guys gotta
That's the
watch
one with
it.
Jim Carrey, isn't it?
Yeah, you guys gotta watch that. You don't like Jim Carrey?
No, I do.
Oh.
So you gotta watch it. It talks about that he's living in a simulation that everybody knows about it, but he doesn't.
Right.
Then eventually he starts
Oh.
to figure it out.
Yeah.
And every time he tries to leave town, there's traffic. Like, I'm gonna circle back around. Oh, look at that, there's no more traffic. I'm gonna go. And then, look at that, there's traffic.
Yeah.
And then he starts to figure out that he's just in a simulation. And then the people that are looking at him and they're like, oh shit, like, what happens when he fully understands that he is?
Right.
It's a very interesting show.
It's
Not a show, a movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, you gotta watch it.
I'll have to watch
I recommend that movie. Bro.
Alright.
You would love that movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I do find it weird that some things are just like why did this happen when that happened, and then that happened when this happened, and
Right.
What are you talking about,
it all ties
World
together.
Events?
Like
yeah,
the butterfly effect, kind of.
yeah, sort
See,
of like
but
that.
that goes back for me to world powers having their hands in everything. Like
Right.
I do think that there are things that they organize.
Right. Well, see, and that's the whole thing, is that if we were theoretically all living in a simulation, the world powers would have so much to gain from
Yeah.
that.
It's true. This is
So
true.
it's one of those things that they don't want to use too much of that power.
Right.
Then
But
we'll be able
okay,
Because
to-
then-
hold on, let me get my bearings of what
Yeah, okay.
what the simulation is. Like, what are you guys thinking? Like the world is non-existent and there's someone
I think
controlling
no,
the
no,
world.
no, not that much. I think that like if I was a wholehearted believer and I went into it, I would say more of like the Earth exists and this, that, and the other, but there's facilities or houses that people are. It's kind of like a machine that people would be hooked up into, and like they recreated everything. That's exactly how it is on quote unquote the outside world or the real world, and we're all just kind of, they cause all these. Don't want to use the word, but they cause pandemics and they cause wars and they cause a whole bunch of other shit just to see, okay, if we did this, how would they react?
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
And without actually killing the people,
Yeah.
it's just all kind of in their
In their head.
head.
Yeah.
So is it a lot of those things that happen, like, we took it too far and all these people died.
Like, are you saying like World War
Like
II
war,
and stuff like that?
It's like, oh yeah, World War II as well. It's like, so Hitler was just part of that simulation.
I would go as just. I wouldn't say.
I mean, it makes it like he went and disappeared.
Right. Well, see, that's what I'm saying. Like facility, like anyone who like, I guess, in their like, I guess you would say, if they died in the quote unquote simulation, then they after that it kind of be like, in a sense, they start a new life after that in the real in like no I say like in the real world, which is why like people would be in like a facility or something like that. Like a secret facilities from the government that nobody knows about, and after.
But I mean, how would it? How like theoretically, how could that happen? You have all these billions of people on the Earth. How do you have a secret facility? Or you're saying that there's people that
like there's multiple. There's multiple facilities.
How you keep that a secret?
Government. Well, I mean, I don't know, but still.
Coming and going.
But they also.
I feel like there's gonna be one blabmouth.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like they kind of like start from scratch. Like you don't have any recollection of what happened.
So whoever works there.
Okay, but
no. So like whoever like whatever happened in the simulation. If you died, you don't have any recollection of that in the simulation.
Okay, I get that. But wouldn't if someone was running the simulation,
right?
They wouldn't want free thinkers thinking about the simulation, no? Or they just don't care because. No,
yeah, because people are going to be like, this guy's fucking crazy.
Right.
Well,
that's exactly it.
People don't think that anymore.
Well, that's why the whole 2012 happened. That's why the Y2K happened.
Well, yeah, that was back then.
You say 2012? Y2K was in 2000s, bro.
Well, no, 2012 and Y2K.
Two separate.
Oh, you're talking about two separate things. I thought you were talking about
calendar, 2012.
Right. Well, I don't know. That one was kind of a weird one. I don't know. Maybe like they kind of put that in just to see like what would happen, like
so
how would people?
We're gonna make a movie.
No.
Every movie goes.
Everyone has theoretically. Everyone would have their own role in it. Like everyone would have their own role in the simulation.
But it's all predetermined.
Right.
So everything that I do throughout my life is predetermined.
I don't know. I don't know if it would be predetermined, but I think it's more just running through scenarios. It's running through different scenarios. I wouldn't say it's completely predetermined. I'd say it's more like, okay, if this person did this, this, and this.
So our consciences still play.
I think our consciences still play out, but I think it's more of like they put it out in a path.
They put out a certain scenario.
Yeah.
That
you can have this. You do this.
To find out how you react.
Exactly.
So you're trying to tell me that.
I'm.
No, I know.
He seems ridiculous.
I know.
I've thought about it before.
Well, you've been thinking about it more today. So, like, they're controlling. I guess not controlling, but like, they have certain events happening to him, happening to you, happening to me.
Correct.
And they're all like taken care of. Like one person's taking care of you, one person's taking care of me, one person's taking care of her.
Well, see, and that's the thing though. Is like
who's writing out the events? Who's like, oh, this guy's gonna get cancer. This guy, I don't know, just break his truck down or something. I wasn't thinking about it.
But I don't know. I mean, you have always the possibility of artificial intelligence. I mean, hell, we already have that now. So what's to say that
You're saying this is what's.
This could, you know what? This very well could be. Thinking about it, goddammit. Thinking about it, how many times have you not searched anything on your fucking phone and something has popped up because you think about it? Not even talking about it out loud. You just think about it and it's right there. And it's right fucking there.
A lot of time. Do you never have that happen?
No.
You have had that happen, I know, because we've talked about this before.
This is interesting, but...
This is your fucking gateway, bro.
There's some explanation into that.
Right.
Because
that's what they want you to think.
It follows your search patterns and it follows the things you like. Like normally you're not going to get a fucking ad that you were like, let's just say you were thinking about something random, like a Louis Vuitton bag.
Mm-hmm.
I swear that pops up.
Well, mine now because you're talking about it, but I mean just things you were thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you two were thinking about a Louis Vuitton bag, that would never pop up because neither one of you are ever going to buy a Louis Vuitton bag.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like you guys have no reason to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe I won't get one for Sean.
Maybe I wanted to get one for Luis.
Maybe. I know the three of us are never going to buy Lucid Dreams, so let's go over that. So if we thought about that,
Right.
like that would never pop up. It's just things that follow your search history
Okay.
and follow your personality a little bit, I think. Mine's mainly beer ads.
That's fair. I wonder why.
I don't know.
Yeah, and it's funny.
But do you ever look up beer in your phone?
No, but if a cool Coors Light ad comes across, I fucking spend a little time looking at that, and you bet your ass they track how long I look at that ad.
I had 38.9 seconds. So
All right, we're sending Coors Light.
That's interesting because, I mean, yeah, I'm talking about like the whole phone thing. Like, I've had a lot when I used to work at Metro. I used to have a lot of people come in and talk about the government's controlling your phone and they're hearing everything that you do. That's why there's those ads that pop up every time you speak of something, and what we were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And well, normally you'd call those people crazy,
Right.
but it's like why don't you have a phone? It's like nothing. Of course, nothing's gonna pop up for him because he doesn't have a phone. But it's like that's kind of interesting. Like they're talking about the whole simulation thing. Like maybe they found something that we don't know about, and but they're considered crazy because it's like nobody's gonna believe you, dude.
It's true.
Right.
That's true.
But
it's interesting. That's interesting.
what do you got?
I don't know.
Hit me, bro.
Hit you. One of them was what is it? Some people believe that the Nazis had a secret base in Antarctica. I'm going to disagree with that one because when the Germans tried to invade Russia, which is not nearly as cold as Antarctica, they fucking got their asses kicked because they could not handle those conditions that like the Russians could.
You can't say that the entire Nazi army was in Antarctica training.
No, I'm not saying that. It's just that they had a base, and I don't think they could have because of their previous encounter with Russians in a not as cold place as Antarctica. I don't think they half of them fucking froze to death.
Okay, but that's just saying, that's what I'm saying. Like, how many people...
Yeah, how many soldiers from Antarctica actually went
to Russia,
and how many from everywhere else went
I'm not saying...
So that's kind of a non-argument. You can't say that they didn't have a base in Antarctica because so many of them died in Russia because of the weather.
Yeah, because they didn't just send those troops from Antarctica to Russia. They could have sent.
I'm not saying them out sending anyone from Russia to Antarctica or Antarctica to Russia. The people in Germany, the Nazis in Germany.
Hard. You're saying that
the Nazis in Germany.
You're saying that it's weird because some of them froze to death.
Yeah,
and then we're saying not necessarily all the Nazis that they had in Antarctica went against Russia. There was. You get what I'm saying?
I don't think you understand. Okay, so you're saying that they died in Russia,
right?
And if they would have had a base in Antarctica, they would have already been acclimated to the weather. Is what you're saying, right?
Said they would have had something better. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, acclimated to the weather. Yes.
Okay. Listen. So, not all the troops that were in Russia, died in Russia, were also in Antarctica.
Yeah.
Like, if it was a secret base, they're not sending their whole army to Antarctica, so they didn't train in Antarctica.
They're probably still 10 people or something.
Yeah, it was probably for generals and fucking in case anything.
But why was it? What would they have to gain from having a base in Antarctica? Nobody has it.
Because they can get away with it, or not get away with it, but all these other bases that they have is okay, well, we'll have a secret base to where our important people that we care about, we're gonna send them there. And if we need to send them to war, then we'll send them, but we're not gonna necessarily send all of them.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it kind of makes sense.
That was a bad one. You picked a bad one.
Yeah, I picked a bad one. I don't know. I'm just going off the list, bro. There's this one called the Dead Baby Project. The conspiracy is the government was stealing dead bodies to do radioactive testing. Says the truth. The government was stealing parts of dead bodies because they needed young tissue. They recruited a worldwide network of agents to find recently deceased babies and children and then take samples and even limbs, each collected without notification or permission of the more than 1,500 grieving families. I've never heard of that one.
Never heard of that, but I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure that happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
What about the Wayfair conspiracy?
What's that?
So you know the company Wayfair? They sell like furniture.
Okay.
That's like a world. What am I trying to say?
World
They
trade.
ship all to around the world and shit.
World trade.
But yeah, they ship around the world, so it's like everybody knows who Wayfair is. Like around the world. Like not everybody knows, but
Right.
it's a known thing. But there was a conspiracy 2 or 3 years ago that Wayfair was shipping kids.
Interesting.
And that's kind of like when Jeffrey Epstein died, and like, that's kind of when it all
Oh, fuck. You say Epstein, then I knew it was probably real.
it all kind of came to light that Wayfair was actually shipping kids in their furniture.
In the
Especially
furniture.
Special clients.
No shit.
Yeah.
I would
Like
honestly...
you find, like,
Make them work.
they kind of, like sex trade stuff. They kind of broke it down.
Bad
Like,
shit.
Working.
It was like a dresser that was like got sold for like $10,000 or something. They're like,
Well, that's
no
weird.
one's paying $10,000 for a dresser. What's really going on,
Right.
So that kind of ties into a bunch of like the Hollywood elites,
Oh, fuck. I would not doubt that shit.
and that kind of like how all the Hollywood elites fucking are part of the sex trade.
I wouldn't say all of them.
Oh no, definitely
But I
not
can
all of them, but
I can probably tell you that quite a few of them probably are.
Let's not name anyone.
That's why I'm not going in there.
yeah, there's
We'll talk about this after.
Yeah.
There's definitely fucking a bunch of conspiracies about that. I even saw one about like certain shoes that a bunch of the Hollywood elites were seen wearing. They were like these red shoes that were supposedly made out of babies.
Really?
Yeah.
I never heard about that one.
Yeah. So like it's kind of some crazy shit to
Yeah.
think about.
Interesting.
It's
Like
kinda-
Lil Nas's one, the one in a blood.
It's weird. It's weird. But actually, you said something that I want to go back on the World Trade Center.
Oh my
That whole
god.
conspiracy, not one.
Okay.
'Cause that's probably
That's the biggest.
that's the
one.
biggest of our generation, I think. That or aliens, like
All right.
or Bigfoot. Those three.
All right. Without pissing people off, I think it was an inside job.
You think so?
I think so.
Really?
If you look at how how the tower collapsed, it's just like with people that have
Saying that if it would have been an airplane,
mm-hmm.
it would have just fallen that way.
Okay.
Correct.
It wouldn't have gone inside.
I don't
time
think-
out, time out on that real quick, because that is a whole unprecedented thing.
What do you mean?
How many airplanes have fallen in or flown into skyscrapers that you've seen on video?
Not that any I can remember off the top
So how
of
are
my
you gonna
head.
know how a building's gonna fall when an
Well,
airplane
I'm
goes?
going
Well, it's
to. I'm going to
just-
trust the architects.
No, it's not just that. It's just the motion of how it
Physics.
goes. If I'm hitting you that way, you're gonna go that way. If you're gonna cut a tree down, it's gonna
Yeah,
come
but
this
that only
way.
goes to a certain extent. The plane didn't fly all the way through the building,
Right.
and the building was made out of steel. How is like? There's certain things that go into that. The plane had to
Exactly,
hit it
they
so
go all the
hard
way
for
to
it
the
to knock
building,
it
'cause-
over.
I don't know. It's
Why
a
would it
couple
not
hundred
collapse?
miles an hour. I feel like it's pretty
It's a
fast.
steel building. It's a lot of steel. Why is it so hard to think that? I mean, I'm trying to think of a good example. Okay, you stack a pyramid of red Solo cups up.
Okay.
Yeah, fucking. So you got stacked up on the side. You hit it right here on the side.
Uh-huh.
That whole thing's not going that way. It falls down on itself.
But it was below where the plane crashed that it collapsed on itself.
Well, that's just kind of the fucking infrastructure of the building. Like, there's obviously going to be weak points.
We're builders, bro.
He's in construction. He knows what he's talking about.
I'm,
He's
I'm
tearing out
not-
a bathroom.
I'm just saying, like, it's
No,
not
I
so
see-
far
I
fetched
see
to
what
believe
Right.
that the building, like, if that's really where you stand on this argument, is that because the building didn't fall over and it fell in.
Right.
Like, do you have another?
what do you say
Do you have
to this?
another? Oh, I don't think it was an inside job at all.
You don't think it was
No,
inside
I
job?
don't.
I don't think Bush caused it.
But you still think it was an inside job?
Correct.
See, I do not stand by that. There's no evidence that I've seen that would make me think otherwise that it was an inside job.
It happened twice. Like, oh, let me hit this. Oh, let me hit this one.
Yeah, but that was just a planned terrorist attack. Like, don't get me wrong, I think that also ties back into the world powers. Like, I'm sure it was some sort of an inside job, but not the way I think you guys are thinking. Like, I don't think the American government set up 2 planes to crash into the World Trade Centers.
No. God damn it, I can't remember off the top of my head. I remember hearing something
Didn't
about...
the Pentagon get hit too?
Almost.
No, it was going to.
Almost before the plane was taken over by the passengers, correct? Yeah.
Yeah, they had one hidden for the Pentagon, both World Trade Centers, and somewhere else. Because...
Isn't the Pentagon in... Where is the Pentagon? That's in D.C., isn't it?
Yeah. And so that one actually hit, like, right by the Pentagon.
Right, but
there was a fourth plane, too, that landed somewhere in the middle of a field, like, Midwest somewhere, I think.
Yeah, I've heard
so
about that.
I can't remember where that one was going. But, yeah, there's 4. And I don't know. It's hard for me to believe, like, that our government...
Plans on that.
To a point.
I mean, they're pretty crazy, but...
Right. God damn it.
What you got?
The NFL draft is rigged.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You think so?
You don't think so?
That the draft is rigged?
Yeah.
I feel like football itself is rigged.
I don't think it is.
I think to a point. I mean, I don't think every game is already decided.
Right.
You do? I don't think you do, like, really. Because if you did, you wouldn't watch.
Well, it's just so interesting. Like,
No.
See, but that's the thing, though.
It's like watching WWE. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
this is
Well,
all
see, and I know it's rigged. I don't watch it.
I don't-
Bullshit.
I don't know.
You used to be a big fan, though.
No.
I'm a huge
Not like
fan.
that.
I still am. What do you mean? I know it's scripted, but I mean, like, it's entertainment. It's not. Yeah, it's entertainment. I don't know really else what else to say. It's.
I don't know.
It's.
I
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Like a TV show.
Well, that's what it is. It's a
View it as
it's a TV show.
but not sport.
It's very athletic.
It's
Hitting
a
someone with
script.
chair.
It's a TV show.
Yeah, so it's
not
either a sport or a TV show.
I'm going to say that it would be a sport.
You gonna say it's a sport?
I would say it's a sport.
Okay.
The thing that pisses me off though with the WWE is the fucking the fact that it's on fucking DraftKings.
Yeah.
You can bet on it, and I'm like, why would you bet on something that's already predetermined?
Yeah.
Like, granted, yes, the injuries are real that they endure, most of them, and it is scripted. But I mean, like, there is a form of athleticism to it. There's a form of entertainment to it.
Well, there's a form of athleticism to everyday things.
Right.
I mean, there's certain jobs you work at, but you don't call it a sport.
Right.
Well, okay, and that's another thing. What would you call being an athlete?
I mean,
Like, just wearing a pair of shoes and going running?
Yeah.
An athlete.
I'm a bowler, so I'm an athlete.
No,
You think bowlers are athletes?
no,
What?
I don't.
You're a piece of shit.
Don't.
What did I just go fucking spend 2 days doing?
Bowling?
Being an athlete.
No. No.
Okay, so. Bow hunting?
Hunting's not a
Bow
sport.
hunting?
Yeah.
No.
What about just hunting?
No. I don't think it's a sport either.
Really?
No. Why would it be?
Is there something to win? I guess you don't know about that. No, I was kidding.
No, yeah. I mean, I don't categorize those things into sports. Like,
So what would you? Yeah, where do you draw the
Where
line?
no,
in sport?
I guess bowling is borderline because I was gonna say it's like something that you
You can do professionally.
professionally get paid to do. So yeah, I
That's
guess
what-
bowling,
that's
I guess
what-
bowling is sport.
What Don is?
Yeah.
There's professional forms of hunting though.
No, not like that. There's not a league or a organization that pays out hunters.
Fair.
Like fishing, yes.
Right.
That's a sport.
There's a
Cornhole.
I really,
Cornhole.
no, see, like
There's a league.
I know it's
there-
bullshit. And I really don't. For me personally, like I know it's considered a sport.
Right.
Fishing, I do not consider a sport. Cornhole, I do not consider a sport. Fucking frisbee golf, I do not consider a sport.
Really?
No.
Why do you not consider that a sport? It's like basically the same principles
What
as
is your
golf.
definition of sport?
Yeah,
Tell me your definition.
Define sport.
It's hard. It's hard.
No, you obviously have a certain line.
No, like it's just like
There has to be a
I can go through
definition.
certain things and pick them out. Like I think they're sports, and I don't think they're sports. And I know that that's not the general like consensus. But
From what Don has told me is that if there is a professional level to it and you
Right.
get paid from it,
Right.
it is a sport.
And yeah, I agree to an extent.
Right.
But I just can't fucking call guys that go out there and fucking cast a line all day. Can't call that a sport. I can't go call a guy that fucking walks around a course and throws a frisbee and call that a sport. Actually,
Okay.
For me,
Well, if we're on this with frisbee golf, they walk around a course and they throw a frisbee.
yeah,
With golf, they walk around the
Yeah.
course and hit a ball.
fuck off. It's also
So what
very
about
mostly a sport.
horse racing? That's interesting.
So
You're not doing jack shit. The horse is.
exactly.
Well,
exactly. And
There's I don't know. I feel like from what I've seen with people riding a horse, I feel like there has to be
No,
two.
this isn't. I'm not talking about jogs or anything like that. Like
Right, okay,
just
right.
just by
Right.
themselves.
It's-
But I wouldn't say the jockeys riding the horse aren't doing shit.
Right, and see that's kind of where I have a hard time because like obviously these people that do like
They
any
train
of these
the
sports we
horse
just
to have
talked
them.
about,
Yeah.
they've dedicated
yeah.
their life to this thing, and I do feel like that's a certain level of appreciation as someone that calling it a sport. Like, so it's kind of hard for me. Like, yeah, I don't know. I think it's just hard for me to accept that they're
Right.
sports. Like I think
So
you
you're
guys-
you're wrong.
Yeah,
So
basically.
racing is not a sport to you.
What?
Horse racing is not a sport to you.
No, it is. Like,
What?
So then
these-
why is
all
golf?
these things-
Why is
all
golf
these-
not?
All these things we talk about are definitely sports. It's just, I don't know. I guess I hold my athletes to a
If
different
you
level.
were to write a book right now that says talk about all the sports, these are the ones that aren't.
Say frisbee golf, golf,
golf.
horse racing, hunting, fishing, none of it.
It's just hard. Like, I have to accept that they are sports. It's just hard for me to accept that they are sports because I really do. Like, I feel like football, basketball, soccer.
Okay, well
Baseball.
then soccer, all they do is run around a field and kick a ball,
Yeah, but like that's a certain
Football,
level.
they just run around the field,
throw
catching the ball,
or throw it or run it.
Yeah,
Basketball, they go back and forth. Same with hockey.
It's
Yeah,
not a ball,
but
though.
think about
Right.
think about all the sports you just named.
Right.
You didn't
What about
name
it?
golf. You didn't name frisbee golf.
But we already discussed that.
Yeah, we
But
were
you can't,
discussing.
you can't make an
Okay,
argument.
I know. Okay, hold on. I know what you're saying. But we were already talking about golf and everything. We are just talking about like the bigger sports
Quote unquote. The
Yeah.
bigger sports.
because we are talking about football and all that stuff.
The more well known sports. Just because they're more well known doesn't mean that those are the
I'm
only
just saying,
sports.
Like, it's just hard for me to understand. Like, and I think it really is just me being biased. Like, it's hard for me to understand like golf and frisbee golf because I've never done that, and I've never like obtained that level of. I wanted to do that for. A
Look up the
profession, you know?
definition of a sport.
Okay.
I know this is way out of topic.
I know.
Absolutely.
I know,
Off the
but
topic.
This is a podcast, so we're just gonna talk about whatever.
I would have to agree. They are sports. It's just it's hard for me to.
No, I want to listen
You
to
know.
the definition because definition matters.
So, as a noun, first definition is an activity involving physical exertion and skill in which an individual or team competes
That's
against
all you
one
need to
another
say, yeah.
or others for entertainment.
That's
So
all you
and that's
need to
what I was
say.
saying. It's like
Everything we
people
just named
dedicate-
Is a sport.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
It's just me.
It's just
being
Tristan's a fucking
Yeah,
dumbass.
pretty much. I'm accepting my defeat when I said it's wrong.
But I'm gonna stick to it.
Oh, no, I went back on it. I literally
Oh,
went back
okay,
on it.
so
I was
now
like-
we're in our
No,
sports.
I said that like 2 minutes ago. That
You did.
like it's just
Oh.
hard for me.
Oh,
Like I
okay.
know they're sports. It's just hard
My
for me
bad, my
to
bad.
understand that because I'm just
Small brain.
I expect golfers to be able to hit that shit 600 yards and fucking.
What do you mean, don't they?
Fuck no. Happy Gilmore, bro.
He's more like playing hockey.
It's hand in hand.
Do we have any more to talk about? I feel like we really
Ooh.
did the big ones.
The one that's really fucking weird to me and that pisses me off more than anything. The Holocaust never happened.
I mean, you were just talking about Nazis and everything. So you don't believe it happened?
No, I believe it happened. 100%.
I've never heard anyone that said that.
Really?
Yeah.
100%. Stupid people.
Yeah.
Small brain people.
So what do they say?
They just say that it just never happened.
So
They just
those
all these
history
people.
books,
Yeah, all these history books are lies. All the documents are lies. Like, just gone, done. Doesn't it? Never happened.
If you're somebody that believes that the Holocaust didn't happen, text me. So I got something to say to you.
Yeah, it's just with all the.
So-
Yeah, just like. But that's the thing, though, is that there's records of it. Literally, there's people that have gone through it and survived.
I mean, there is such thing as denial.
What do you mean? But that's the thing, though. It's not the Holocaust survivors denying that it happened. It's just people that never went through it have denied that it happened. The people that have lived through it have all said that
So
shit
it's just
happened.
people reading about it.
Yeah.
So there's no
It's
way
people
this
who
happened.
have the people who don't have firsthand experience with it are saying that it did not happen.
So if they read anything, it just. I mean, I get this if they read a book and it's like, okay, well, this is science fiction.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what they're saying.
They read any book, it's like, okay, well, it's just a book.
It's just yeah.
They read the Bible. No, I'm kidding.
Need to.
But no, I think if you're one of those people that think that, then I'm sorry, bro. You're fucking dumb. I mean, to offend anyone, but yeah.
I'm sorry. It's just the truth. God damn it. I don't want to. All these stupid websites.
There has been people that I've heard that slavery didn't happen.
I believe that happened.
Oh yeah, it happened, but it's more of a same thing. It's like I don't think people were that terrible to where like they would own other people.
You don't think that?
No.
Oh.
I'm saying like what other people say.
Oh, okay.
It's the same thing. It's unless they were there to witness it, they're never gonna believe it.
Right.
Well, it's hard. Like, if you really think about stuff like that, it's really hard to grasp. Like,
Well, yeah, because it's
like obviously we just like.
well,
Well, not for me, because
that fucking stupid. Like,
I wouldn't even say stupid. I'd just say evil.
Yeah, but I
But
mean, like, if you really think about it,
Huh.
like, it's hard to grasp that what actually.
Maybe
back in
for
the
you,
day,
but
they
not
didn't
for
even
me.
See that as a bad thing.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
like, okay, well, you have
This
this
is
guy,
normal.
and I have this
Exactly,
guy.
yeah.
I need this guy for this, and you need this guy for that. Switch. It's like,
Trade.
and they were just laborers, but they weren't getting paid.
If they were, it was very,
It was like
very
2
little.
cents, if that.
It's close to nothing.
But yeah, back then it's like they denied that. No, I don't have a slave. I just have somebody that works for me.
Right.
Yeah.
And, and I feel like, I mean, generations and stuff like that, like the way that their generation tells their stories, or like even their family tells their stories, it could be something different.
Sure. It's all a big game of telephone.
That seems like a lot of things, though. That's a big game. Let's see here. Black or unmarked helicopters. The concept became popular in the American militia movement and in associated political circles in the 1990s as an alleged symbol and warning sign of military takeover of part or all of the United States. Rumors would circulate that, for instance, the United Nations patrolled the U.S. with black helicopters, or that federal agents used black helicopters to enforce wildlife laws. In Britain, a similar conspiracy theory known as phantom helicopters has been reported since the mid-1970s. The concept relates phantom helicopters to UFOs and the alien invasion rather than martial law. So just that they would fly helicopters over.
Or is it just things that they don't detect?
Yeah.
It's
just-
I don't detect this one, so
Yeah, it's just...
it's fake.
I don't know. That's hard for me to have an opinion on because
Yeah.
I've never actually.
I don't know, but that still kind of goes back into like the whole government spying thing on us, and I think so. In a sense, I think that there is always, but I don't necessarily think that it's the government themselves. I think it's the tech companies, like spying on us. Say like Apple, Samsung, all that shit. Like the bigger tech companies, I think that shit's all them spying
Here's
on
my
us.
question: like, what benefits them in knowing what I'm doing?
They just kind of keep tabs on you.
It's just people that want to have control.
Yeah.
Go on, look, this guy. What do you think? So,
Well, see,
If you get a little too far out of their
right.
what fits their agenda, you start searching things that they don't want you to know about, or
But even people who do,
well, I feel like people that even like shop like in the black market or something like that, like
but the
you
black,
don't hear them like getting arrested or anything.
but that's because isn't the black market supposed to be like undetectable, except for the people, like,
yeah, it's a very hard thing to.
oh my god.
But that's the whole point, is you're not supposed to know that those people are gone.
Yeah, that's what the dark web.
That's the
That's
whole point.
yeah.
Like they just
The dark
randomly
web doesn't.
die.
Yeah, the dark web doesn't have like IP addresses and shit like that. It's like it's all blocked out. Only people that are also in the dark
I
web.
guess have an IP address to exist.
Yeah. That's why people that are in the dark web are able to find other people in the dark web.
You talk to your dad about that.
What?
Because he knows everything about all that. But it's interesting.
Huh.
Just you know, like when they post like a child going missing, it's because
It's been
Oh,
picked.
actually,
Oh.
okay. There's this documentary on Netflix called The Missing 411.
Okay.
okay.
And it details in different regions of North America. Some of them are the Rocky Mountains. Some of them are like Smoky Mountains, which is in Tennessee.
Okay.
There are like lots of different places around the world where these people have gone missing, and something either like
Talking about like the
supernatural-
tunnels.
No.
I gotta pull that one up.
Yeah, pull that up. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, okay, so like they found this kid. I cannot remember exactly where, but it wasn't like too rural. And his mom was walking him. He was like 4 years old, and she had a stroller that had like another young kid. They were walking, and she turns around, and the kid's gone. Can't find the kid. She looks for him, can't find the kid. Notifies the authorities. Huge search party. They find the kid like months later. Up like it was like 80 miles away. From where he originally went missing. Up in like this fucking like the opening of this cave that like he could have never got to. Like a 4-year-old could have never climbed up there to get to.
Right.
Right.
Nothing really wrong with him. Died with hypothermia.
That's how he's there?
Yeah, nothing else wrong with him.
Really?
Like months later. Okay, there's this one, and this one was in the Smoky Mountains. This gives me goosebumps talking about like this, because like this shit freaks me out. Because like I go up to the fucking mountains by myself. This shit freaks me out because
They're gonna get
these,
you.
this stuff. So these 3 dudes went up. It was hunting. They had their base camp set up in this. It's like a bowl with a lake in it up on the top of this mountain, way the fuck up there. Like they had to walk. I think they had to walk like 9 miles or something to get up there after they parked their vehicles. So they get up there, and they had a cache set up for when they went up there. Like they had extra materials and stuff, and it was like 2 miles away from where they were camping. So that cache was set up from this, because it's on top of the mountain. So there's like canyons and stuff coming down to like naturally, like water flows down and like all this shit down to the cities and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So he had left on the first day that I got there. He had left to go get whatever they needed out of the cache. I don't remember exactly what it was. And he was, I can't remember. They have like the certain time that, because they've done this before. Like this whole trip they do every year.
We're at the same place.
Right? Yeah. Everything's the same.
Okay.
So they know how long that trip takes, and so they give him, a couple hours after he's supposed to be back, and he's not back, and still not back, and so they give it into the next day, and he still hasn't come back the next day. So then the next day is when they realize something's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So they go to the cache, nothing's taken out of it. Everything's still there, no sign of him. So they're like, okay. So they go back into town, alert the authorities again. So then they have this huge fucking search party up there looking for this guy. So they're looking up on this ridge. They find his shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And the way this canyon works, where he was, there's no way to really get down. Like, it's just like cliff faces and stuff.
Okay.
So they find his shoes here. A couple miles down this canyon, they find like his backpack and a couple other things. Just sitting on top of there. There's like some fire pits that it looked like he had used. Kind of weird, right?
So he was by himself?
Yeah, he was just by himself.
Okay.
Because he was just supposed to go to the cache, come right back. So they find all these things. Months go by. Nothing else. This fucking guy that's living on, like, it's kind of like, here for us, it's kind of like Colburn. They, like, live on the mountain, but, you know. So it's kind of like a little town like that where they're, like, living at the base of the Smoky Mountains. This guy is fixing his fence. He owns, like, a bunch of property up there fixing his fence. Finds a bow. And so he's like, okay, that's kind of weird. Maybe someone was just on my property. Then he starts finding bones. Skeleton of this guy. This shit is fucking miles from where.
Like,
he
just
was supposed to
scattered?
be. Yeah, just scattered. None of them in the same place. Scattered
Weird.
throughout. And it's like, how do we find something here, something's here, bones here, miles apart? And that guy, this was in like November. That guy would have died of hypothermia.
Yeah.
Way before he made it down there.
Weird.
How did those things end up there? How did he end up all the way down here? How did no one see him because he was coming down to like farmlands and stuff? How did he not see the city? How did he just die right there and his stuff be found miles away from
Well, I want to know how he... So normally, when bones are scattered, that means physical body parts are also scattered.
Some animal, too.
Yeah. He could have died. Yeah, I guess he could have died and got mauled and
But how does
dragged.
that explain his things being found
Yeah.
where people can't get... I mean, they had helicopters up there fucking flying the canyon, and that's like part of the only reason they found fucking shit that they found. You have to watch it because there's like... That's only 2 of the stories of like the 15 stories they have.
And that's what it's called?
It's called The Missing 411.
I'll have to watch that.
I think it's on Netflix. I don't remember. I watched it a couple times because like it really does. That shit scares the shit out of me.
Just trying to investigate. Like,
Dude, it's
wait a
fucking...
second.
I'm going to connect the
It's
dots.
fucking freaky, like...
That is
And
weird.
the cases that they have, and there's like hotspots where like multiple of those things have happened.
Weird.
Yeah, it's fucking...
It's really...
You'll have to look that up
Really
and watch
weird.
that. It's a fucking weird ass shit.
So, what I was talking about with the tunnels and everything is that, so the claim is that a comparison of 2 maps shows how people in the United States seem to go missing near the cave systems. And if you go and you look at the 2 maps, so the top map shows the mysterious cases of people vanishing without a trace, and the bottom map shows the America's largest cave systems. If you look, they kind of line up.
I don't think kind of. They...
Pretty much,
And especially for the West Coast. I mean,
yeah.
the East Coast, yeah.
That's weird. But what happens in those caves? Or...
I don't know. I haven't looked too much into it. I heard about it like a while ago, and it just never really kind of festered with me until just now.
It is interesting. It kind of plays in...
To what you were saying, yeah.
It's
So
weird. Like, people going missing out there, just it really spooks me out.
Yeah. It's always weird, yeah, when they go missing and there's just no trace. And
Yeah.
well, it says, if you notice, the map doesn't show any missing persons in large metropolitan areas like Detroit. That's because it was created with the focus on people who mysteriously vanished in remote areas, specifically near national parks. And because national parks are home to nearly 5,000 cave systems, these 2 maps, not surprisingly, have some similarities.
Jacob
And then
wasn't going to go to a cave, bro.
And then
For
it,
some reason.
yeah. It's fun.
Not after hearing
I'm
this.
trying to get rid of you, bro.
Well, see, and then look, this is it. Kind of ties in. It says a former detective and current Bigfoot hunter for his Missing 411 book series. The version of this map is on his website.
So yeah, that directly correlates. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like the national parks are like there's something going on out there. Like there's no way that those people just go missing in those ways by themselves.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Well, see, that's the thing that kind of is weird to me is that you have these people that are literally professionals at cave diving and rock climbing and this, that, and the other, and all of a sudden, like, they just go missing.
Yeah.
And everyone says that, oh, it's in, you know, he was a cliff diving accident, or not a cliff diving, cave diving, or anything like that. It's like, well, he has God knows how much experience with this. Like, you're telling me that all of a sudden he's just missing. You can't find him.
And anyone with, like, a general, like, knowledge, like, doing that kind of stuff, like, I like, the cave diving and stuff, that gets kind of iffy, because things can happen.
Right.
You know, like, they can. But just, like, people going out hunting or, like, hiking in the fucking mountains, like, well, there's the time we weren't talking. I don't know if I ever told you this, but me and Bailey went up on the fucking mesa and went down off the side of the mesa and couldn't get back up to the truck. We're stuck. This fucking huge canyon.
Well, you can't say that you couldn't, because obviously you're right here.
Well, no. We fucking had to walk 30 miles out of this fucking canyon. We basically walked from the top of the mesa all the way down, and
so you leave tracks, bro?
Huh?
So you leave tracks?
Leaf tracks?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Throw some, like some dye or something?
No.
Some bread.
But, luckily we got out of that because, like, I had general knowledge. Like, found a stream, follow the stream goes downhill.
Right.
And luckily we got service and I was able to call my mom, but we were gone for, like...
Mom, I'm stuck in the canyon.
Dude, it was bad. Like, seriously, I'm not kidding you. Like, that shit was some of the fucking scariest fucking shit of my life, because we went into the shit at, like, I don't know, like 6:30 in the morning. She picked us up that night at like midnight.
Holy.
Like, we were fucking like gone the whole day, no one knew where we were. We had a lick of service at the beginning. I had called my mom and told her that we were hunting elk, and I told her that we had seen some elk, so we were gonna go chase it. And then that was the last she heard of us until I got down there and we had cell service and was able to call her and tell her kind of like the general location we were. But like,
and I think a major part of how, like, all that stuff, especially like, you know, adult people, because they've never informed anyone until where like they're going. Which, I don't know if you guys seen that story about the 127 hours.
Right.
The guy stuck in a truck. He never told anyone where he was going, and I mean, he kind of risked himself going where he was going. But
I don't think that's the majority of people. Like, people who really do
right,
these
but
things,
I feel like it's a good percentage.
I don't think so.
No,
I think the better percentage.
You tell those people missing that.
Well, a lot of them do. That's why they know where to look. Is because people knew where they were at.
Okay.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, whenever that happens, okay, I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they know where to look. So they know people. They did tell people.
Oh, well, he told me he was right here, but he's not here.
Well, I think a lot of them kind of generalize it. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to such and such national park. Well, this turns out this national park is fucking huge.
Well,
you don't know.
But it's like, oh, like, all right, well, he has a certain spot that he likes. Well, of course, going to search that first.
Right.
If not, we'll bring out a whole team and try to see what happens. But no, that's really interesting. Like, it's really fucking scary.
That shit spooks me out, man. Like,
and yet you still go out there.
Oh, absolutely. Because
it's trying to die.
I mean, I'm not really afraid of those things. If that happens, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I got my
feel
gun.
like I will.
I'll do the best I can to avoid the situation, but at the end of the day, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Right.
So
This is my moment, and
I have had some spooky experiences in the woods. Like, I really have. There's been a couple times that I'm just like, there's a couple spots that I will not go back to because of the experiences that I've had. Yeah. Like,
where's that?
There's one up on Glade Park where we were camping, and like the dream I had and the dream Bailey had were just like, it's like creepy shit. Like,
You guys connected in the dreams too?
not like that, but just like, I don't know, going back to kind of the lucid dreaming and like vividly seeing like your surroundings and just like the kind of stuff that happened up there. Like, it's just, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it's just like,
I'll show you guys.
well, I can't go back to those certain spots because of the feeling that, like, you know, when you walk into, like, you've had those feelings where you walk into something and you're like, it just does not give you a good feeling. And that's how it was. Like, there's certain spots that I cannot go back to because of the feeling that it gave me. And creepy.
Goosebump feeling. Man.
Yeah.
I've been in those situations before that it's like like I go and do something, it's like, wow, like I shouldn't be here. Like I feel like I shouldn't be here. Like even if it's just like at a party or something, it's like I don't know why, but like it doesn't feel right. That's you leave and then you hear like all these kids got busted and. You know, with alcohol and I think IDs and stuff, like, oh,
I'm smart.
But yeah, no, I know what you're saying. Like, it's like you walk in, you go somewhere, it's like, my gut is telling me not to go here, like, but why?
Right.
And it's like...
See, but do you question it or do you just, like, follow your gut?
Well, a lot of times I do, and a lot of times I do follow my gut, but it's like... It's telling me, like, don't go to that place, or if you're going to go over here, if you're going to go to this point, take this road instead. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, I get you, but it's really weird. It's
definitely
really
recommend you guys watching that documentary, though.
I'll give it
enough. Understand what I'm saying, because I can't explain it nearly as good as they did.
I just finished my TV show that I was watching, so I'm probably going to watch that.
You watch, it's like a 2-hour documentary, but it's fucking... Like I said, I'm not one that rewatches things.
But you rewatch that.
I think if it's really good, I'll rewatch it like a movie. Like,
see, even if I really enjoy the movie, I do not rewatch it.
Really?
There's very certain things.
Oh, bullshit! There's movies that we've rewatched a few times.
Not very often that I rewatch things. Like,
we always talk about like The
like
Office.
TV shows.
The Office is only watch it once, but no, if I like it, I'll rewatch
this thing. I've watched this documentary like multiple times, and it's always been with a new person because like I watched it by myself the first time,
right?
But after I watched that. Like, I like to...
Like, shave over here?
I like that. Basically, bro. I mean, it's fucking weird shit. I definitely recommend watching that. It got me fucking tripping.
Okay, look.
Big
That's right.
So. Like, I get that feeling every time I go to work. I shouldn't be here.
I shouldn't be here.
Alright, well, I think it's been enough.
Yeah.
Well, a little bit off topic, but it is a podcast, and we're just gonna talk about whatever comes to mind.
Right.
We'll start out with a topic, but
it may or may not hold.
But I mean, it still kind of ties in with the whole.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, thank you guys for listening, and this is Hear Me Out. Peace.